What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First and foremost, I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas, but today we are back on the grind on NBA 2K, talking about a team I haven't rebuilt in quite some time, that being the Charlotte Hornets. I feel like the Hornets have a really good foundation going, especially when a lot of people were upset that they drafted Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson. Right now, they kind of look like geniuses for that. In the long run, it may still be the wrong decision. Kind of depends if Scoot can ever look like what he was supposed to be. He's been mostly up and down this, or he's been up and down this season, mostly down. But we're just going to come on here and talk about the Hornets today. No real twist on today's video. I just want to rebuild the Hornets because I like a lot of things that they have going for them. But of course, it's still not clicking yet. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like in this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. But yeah, let's talk about it. Brandon Miller, Melo Ball, Terry Rozier, Mark Williams, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Nick Richards, PJ Washington. I actually think they have a pretty solid foundation on their roster. The big three that I'm going to build this team around, though, 100% is Lamelo, Mark Williams, and Brandon Miller. Those are the three guys we're 100% keeping throughout the video. We just need to figure out what we're going to do with like Rozier, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward probably wouldn't have a lot of interest around the league. Maybe there's some team that has a big contract or a couple big contracts they're willing to throw at us. But more than likely, we're probably just going to keep Gordon Hayward throughout the season. He walks in the offseason. Miles Bridges. So obviously in the offseason, now there's a lot of controversy around Miles Bridges, of course, but in the offseason, it sounded like he asked the Hornets to rescind his qualifying offer. And then now there's a lot of talk even from Jake Fisher, who obviously has a lot of knowledge on NBA things, inside the NBA. That said, that there's a lot of signs pointing that Miles Bridges will not re-sign in Charlotte. So I don't know if they're going to look to trade him at the deadline. They may. I don't know if they're going to. We'll see. He's actually having a pretty decent year. PJ Washington, like I said, Cody Martin, Ish Smith, Frank Ntilikina, Nick Smith. So what we're going to do is obviously look at the rotation really quick. So Lamelo Ball, obviously when he's back, he'll start. But Rozier right now is at the point guard. Brandon Miller at the 2. We'll probably fix that in a little bit. Miles Bridges, Mark Williams, PJ Washington, Nick Richards, Frank Ntilikina, and Ish Smith is our rotation. So for the rest of the season, we're going to go ahead and send Mr. Nick Smith and probably Bryce McGowan's down to the G League for the rest of the year. Other than that, we are going to simulate most likely the deadline. I think I am going to start this video by trading Miles Bridges away. If all signs are pointing towards him not resigning, then obviously I don't want to just watch him walk for nothing. I think it would be ideal if they could keep him, but it sounds like he doesn't want to stay. So I don't know how true that is, but I'm just going to, listen to like guys like Jake Fisher and what signs have been saying. So let's just go ahead, similar to the deadline. We'll start this video with trading Miles Bridges away. Today's video is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. The way PrizePicks works, you're facing nobody but the numbers. They have all kinds of stats with the NBA. They got points, rebounds, points, assists, three-pointers made. There's even more. They're just not all showing right now. But how it works is you choose between 2 to 6 players. 2 players being 3 times your entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times your entry. And then the way I actually use PrizePicks is DGF's optimizer tool. This has been absolutely a game changer for me. Basically, you compare discrepancies across multiple sports books, and you just get the value out of it. So right now, Desmond Bane's assist, PrizePicks is listing it at 5, and all other sports books are listing it at like 4.5. So you click the under on Desmond Bane. There's actually better, like this one, for instance, 205.5 passing yards for Jalen Milroe, and you got DraftKings listing it at 193.5, and then FanDuel 201.5. So obviously, PrizePicks looks like they're listing it very highly. And I also love the correlation tool, of course. I had a lot of close ones last night. Debo Samuel kind of killed some of my I still got 2 times, but Debo Samuel, if he comes through, could have won 225 times. So thank you, Debo. But if you guys want to sign up for PrizePicks or DGF, I have both links down in the description below. Use code Crushables. They match your first deposit dollar for dollar on PrizePicks. And DGF, I have their YouTube channel down in the description below if you want to learn more about their software. If you want to go ahead and check it out, see if it's worth using. So currently at the deadline, as promised, as we're 16-34 on the season. So I'm going to go ahead and, as I promised, we're going to trade Miles Bridges away. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to get for him. I obviously would love to walk away with maybe at least a first-round pick if possible. So the Miami Heat are off me Caleb Martin and a first-round pick. So we're bringing Caleb Martin over, who could play with his brother. I don't actually hate this trade. We might end up doing it. I actually don't hate that trade at all. So I might do that trade unless if something else pops up. But I think we're going to do it. So Miami's going to get Miles Bridges. We're going to get Caleb Martin, reunite him with his brother. I think Caleb Martin used to play in Charlotte anyway. He did. So he comes back. First round pick. We'll do it. So Miles Bridges heading to Miami. All right. So now we got Caleb Martin. I don't know what we're going to do with him for the future, but right now he is going to be a player for us, which actually I don't think is a bad deal, because obviously if we're going to try to win next year, a role player like Caleb Martin is great to have. So let's go ahead and move also Brandon Miller to the 3 because he's 6'7". I think he can play the 3, obviously. They have him listed the 2. We're going to go small forward, power forward, and then we're going to have Lamelo Ball, Rozier. Actually, I actually want to trade Terry Rozier as well. I forgot about him. So we're going to trade Rozier as well. So Rozier is going to be moved here. Gordon Hayward, Caleb Martin, Mark Williams, Brandon Miller. They actually want to start Gordon Hayward or Brandon Miller, which we're not going to do. But let's go ahead and also flip Rozier. So flipping Rozier as well. 3-year deal. He's actually been pretty good as well, especially in the absence of Lamelo Ball. But if we're not going to keep him for the future, we might as well trade him at the peak of his value potentially here. So if we can get that, that'd be fantastic. The Pacers offer me a second round pick and Obi Toppin, Bagley, Monte Morris, Fred VanVleet, Zach Collins on a first round pick. I mean, the Spurs do need a point guard, but I don't know if Rozier is the guy they're looking for. I think they'd probably want somebody different. Jeremy Grant, no, that doesn't make any sense. Moses Moody, and the Wizards offer me Gafford and Landry Shaman. Okay, I don't know if I love any of these offers that are on the table as far as realism is concerned. Let's keep looking just in case. So the Cavaliers want to give me LeVert and Rubio. I mean, I don't know. Marcus Smart, Kyle Lowry, Richardson. I mean, I would love to walk away with a first-round pick if possible. Just not seeing that on the table at the moment. Mo Wagner, and then Tim Hardaway, Seth Curry. I could definitely see the Mavericks being interested in Rozier. Potentially Russ O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith. Brooklyn is interesting. I'm going to see if I can make a trade with Dallas, but I definitely want a first-round pick if I'm going to do this. So it's going to go ahead and see if I can squeeze a first out of them if possible. We flip Caleb Martin to them, and we get a second-round pick out of the deal. So basically, I don't know. That seems a little too rich for me. I'll include a second, but I'm not trading Caleb Martin on top of what I already am giving up. They want Caleb Martin again. Not doing it. I'll give you another second-round pick. 4 seconds. I don't know. That seems kind of crazy. But we do get a first-round pick out of the deal. I guess if we're going to get... Sure, why not? I mean, just ignore the 4 seconds. It's kind of bizarre. But whatever. We'll do it. I'm going to get a first-round pick. That's what matters at the end of the day. And now we can go ahead and look at this rotation. So, Hardaway is going to start. Another veteran we could flip in the offseason. So, Hardaway, LaMelo, Gordon Hayward, Caleb Martin, Mark Williams. But we are going to, of course, as I said, start Brandon Miller. To me, that is a no-brainer. We're going to start Brandon Miller. So, that'll be our rotation for the rest of the season. We shouldn't be very good, but obviously, that doesn't really matter. We're just looking to build on things that we have going for us, and then obviously we'll address things as we go. So at the end of the season, we did not make the playoffs or the play-in, which I'm totally okay with. Obviously, we're looking to just kind of build things. So we got 15 from Melo, 16 from Hardaway, 13 from Gordon Hayward, 32 from Brandon Miller, 11 from Mark Williams, and 11 from PJ Washington. So let's go ahead, simulate the playoffs, and let's see where our pick ends up once we're in the lottery and who also wins the championships. You're going to have Celtics and Clippers. Clippers go on to win it all. They beat the Celtics in 7 games. Player retirements, Udonis Haslem and Iguodala. Let's go to the lottery. So I think our pick is lottery protected from the Spurs. So let's go take a look if that is the case. So it is projected to be top 4. We'll see where it ends up. It is going to be number 1. Wow. So we get the number 1 overall pick in this draft, which is actually fantastic because I think we could also take like Ron Holland here if we wanted to. We could take Alex Sarr. There's a lot of different options here with number 1. That's actually a really good start to this rebuild. Obviously getting number 1, really can't complain too much about that. We get to add another young stud to the roster. So Steve Clifford, Tyrone Corbin. I mean, I'm not a big fan. I never was a big fan of the Hornets bringing back Steve Clifford, but I don't know if I'm going to fire him right now. I'll probably wait. I won't fire him at the moment, but I'm going to fill out this coaching staff, and I'll see you guys on draft night with who we're taking at number 1. I'm not really sure we're going to take just yet, but we have a lot of options on the board, obviously. Kind of want to look at mock drafts really quick to see what 2K has us going for. So Alex Sarr is projected to be number 1 in the sporting news. 2K has Alex Sarr, and then NBA.com has Isaiah Collier. Don't think we'll be drafting Isaiah Collier. I'm basically debating between Alex Sarr and Ron Holland at the moment, which I don't even see Ron Holland here. They got Pistons number 4. Okay. All right, so let's just kind of feel it out. So let's just jump into the draft and let's see. So I'm not really sure who I want to go with here, but Stephon Castle, not going. It's basically between Sarr and Ron Holland. So Collier, Buzelis is probably an interesting option as well. But yeah, it's between these 4 at the moment. I'm not taking Collier because I don't really want another guard anyway. So yeah, do I want Alex Sarr or Ron Holland? To me, if I was to choose, I honestly would rather have Alex Sarr for the future. But I know I take Alex Sarr way more than I take Ron Holland. So I think I am going to go ahead and take Ron Holland here to change it up. So Ron Holland, welcome to Charlotte. That is going to be our pick, 77 overall. I know Alex Sarr is a lot better in this draft class, but I feel pretty decent about having Ron Holland, so we'll take that. So Alex Sarr drops all the way to the Pistons or to the Spurs. Actually, a steal. Him and Wemby could be a lot of fun. But let's go straight to rookie signing. Ron Holland, welcome to the team. Player options, Cale Martin declines. JT Thor, Mark Williams will accept those, of course. Qualifying offers, Amari Bailey is a free agent, and then free agency. So, looking at free agency, Gordon Hayward, Caleb Martin. I don't really have any interest in bringing back Gordon Hayward, obviously. But Caleb Martin, someone I do have interest in bringing back. So we're going to go ahead and re-sign Caleb Martin. So we'll bring him back to the squad. So I have Caleb Martin on the team. And we still have money to sign like another decent free agent if we want. So right now, it'd be Lamelo, Seth Curry. We have Nick Smith Jr., James Bouknight, Hardaway, Brendan Miller, Cody Martin. And then we have Caleb Martin, PJ Washington, and Ron Holland. So, and Mark Williams, Nick Richards. So the center spot looks good to me. Power forward spot, a little bit of a log jam per se. But I think we'll fix that here in a second. So right now, I think what we can do is we could probably play one of these guys as the two, obviously, because we don't really have a starting shooting guard at the moment if we're really looking at things. Nick Smith, not sure he'll be ready next year. So Brandon Miller is going to stay at the 3. Cody Martin, Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway seems like the obvious guy we move here, but I also wonder if Caleb Martin could play the 2. I don't know if he'd probably go down like crazy, I assume. So Caleb Martin, he actually is a 79 to the 2. So we're actually going to move him to the 2. He's going to be the starting 2 guard. So Caleb Martin's going to be starting 2. Hardaway, Brandon Miller will share that 3 spot, and then PJ Washington, Ron Holland will share that 4. Mark Williams, Richards will share that 5. So yeah, it looks good to me. Let's go to player progression. Not looking to rush things, so I don't think I'm going to sign a big free agent, even though we don't have money to do that anyway. So let's go to player progression. Curious to see what it looks like. So we got Brandon Miller up to an 84, Mark Williams up to an 83. These are the 3 guys, as I said, we're building around, so feel good about them progressing. Nick Smith is up to a 74. Cody Martin is up, and then Bryce McGowan's, and we got some of these other guys up too. So that's great. So let's get into next season. Let's look at this rotation and what it's about to look like. I don't know if I feel confident in us being a play-in team next year, but it's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I'm pretty sure we have our pick next year too. 2K is not going to list it as that, but I'm pretty sure in real life, the Spurs or the Hornets pick is still protected in 2025, but we'll take a look. So, Pirates going to list 24th overall. Proficiency is a 3.5 pace and space. I guess we'll leave it that way. So, looking at the rotation, it's going to be Lamelo, Cody Martin, Brandon Miller, PJ Washington, Mark Williams, Tim Hardaway, Nick Richards, Ron Holland, and Cody Martin. I almost kind of want to start Ron Holland right away. I know PJ Washington probably deserves to be the starter, but if we're going to just let Ron Holland cook, let's just start him. Let's just go ahead and, let him start right away. And one overall pick. I know the Hornets didn't start Lamelo right away, but I'm just going to start I'm going to start Ron Holland right away. So now, only other thing I want to look at is shot tendencies. So, Lamelo's is nice. I do want to boost Brandon Miller's up. I want him to take a jump this year. And then Ron Holland's is a 79, which I think is good as a rookie. So, we'll leave that the way it is. I will see you guys either at the deadline or at the end of the season. I don't know if I'll stop at the deadline. I guess we could trade Hardaway if we wanted to, but we'll just kind of see how we're doing. We're going to start the trade deadline at 23 and 27. The reason that is because we're going to look to buy a shooting guard here. I don't really want Caleb Martin to be the long-term 2. Honestly, I'd rather him be like a bench piece, or we maybe even throw him in this trade. We'll see. But right now, I feel pretty decent about how things are going. We're, borderline a play-in team. But I want to, maximize that window. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 2 guards we can go get around the league. So, first guy I noticed was Malik Monk on the Kings. He's probably having a pretty good year, I would imagine. So let's go take a look at what he's doing for the Sacramento Kings. So he is averaging 16 points per game on 42% shooting from 3. That's kind of what I would love to have right now. I'm not going to lie. A 2 guard that can, shoot the ball. Actually, he used to play in Charlotte. I forgot about that. So we could bring him back if we wanted to, but we'll keep looking. So that would be funny if we brought him back. DiVincenzo, also someone. RJ Barrett, also someone I always love. That could be interesting if we brought RJ Barrett over to Charlotte. Let's see. He is averaging 23 points per game on 32% shooting from 3. But having like a LaMelo Ball, RJ Barrett, Brandon Miller, that would be kind of interesting. All guys are pretty tall. We'd be like a really lengthy lineup. I would actually love that. So DiVincenzo, also somebody I was kind of, taking a look at. 6'4", 12 points, 38% shooting from 3. And then another guy I was looking at in particular, Jalen Suggs, also kind of caught my eye. But the guy, Herb Jones was, and then Jaden Ivey. So Herb Jones and Jaden Ivey were the other 2 guys I was looking at. Jaden Ivey would be interesting. The Pistons are rebuilding. They're 25 and 25 though, so I'm not really sure if they would want to move Jaden Ivey. But if we did try, what's he doing on the season for the Pistons? He is averaging 10.5 points per game on 31% shooting from 3. So he just hasn't been very good in Detroit. So I wonder on the last year of his deal, if they'd be fine with moving him out. I kind of want to go for him. Let's take a chance on him. So, actually, I guess he has another year on his contract if they didn't want to move him right now. But I'm still going to try for him. So, Jaden Ivey's not someone I particularly get all the time. So, what we're going to do is we are going to try to entice them with draft capital. So, let's start with Caleb Martin. I'm actually cool with Caleb Martin being this trade. So, obviously, we don't have our own pick, but we have our 2027 Dallas pick. We don't have our own pick to trade, I should say. We have this Heat pick. So, I wonder if we could flip those 2 picks that we got in order to get Jaden Ivey from Detroit. I don't know if they'd be okay with this, but let's see what they'd say. They disagree right away, which is fine. I'm going to also offer, like, maybe Nick Smith, and then you can give me, like, this guy. So, Malcolm, I guess that doesn't work. Malcolm doesn't makes too much money. Okay. You can give me McCullough then. What about that? So, Kevin McCullough, we give you Nick Smith. They disagree still. I'll give you a second and another second. I don't know if I want to go to 3 first. That seems a little too rich. Okay. So Ivy may not be possible, but, you know, we're trying here. So let's once again throw Malcolm in here. And then Nick Smith made too much money. How was he much? 2.59. Let's say it's JT Thor. I guess that's still too much money. My bad. I'm throwing Ron Holland in here, but Nick Smith already tried. Richards, Hardaway. I mean, Hardaway definitely, Hardaway has the same trade value. Let's see if we did it like this. So, and then you give me McCullough. That's still too, they'd have to throw way more money in here. Let's say Bojan. It's not going to happen. So, I don't think Ivy's going to happen. So, Ivy, probably not going to be possible. It was a nice idea, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, the other 2 guys, like I said, were the Knicks, DiVincenzo or RJ Barrett. I'm going to try for, actually, another guy was Pelicans, Herb Jones. I kind of like the idea of Herb Jones as well. 3 years left in his deal, 7 points, 3% shooting from 3, but just like a perfect role player, I think, in my mind. So we're going to go Caleb Martin for Herb Jones. Actually, if we can keep Caleb Martin in this trade, I think that'd be great. So I'll offer Hardaway instead, and then I'm going to offer that Mavericks pick. Let's see what they say. They agree. We get Herb Jones. Herb Jones, welcome to Charlotte. So now we have Herb Jones as our long-term 2, which I actually like. So Lamelo Ball, Herb Jones. And again, Herb Jones, 6'7", which fits the mold of having a very tall team, lengthy team. We got a 6'7", point guard, 6'7", 2 guard, 6'7", 3, 6'7", 4. I mean, that's just a lot of length that you'd want. I think that's kind of where basketball is going to be heading towards eventually anyway. They actually want to start Nick Richards over Mark Williams. I don't really want to do that. So we're going to do something like this. It'll be 21, going to Nick Richards, 29 to Caleb Martin. So feeling good about this rotation for the rest of the season. Hopefully Herb Jones can come over, help us make the play-in. So Castle ends up winning Rookie of the Year on the Chicago Bulls. Very interesting that it doesn't go to Sar, but he was probably coming off the bench for Victor Wembanyama, which makes sense. Let's go look. Lamelo Ball does make All-NBA first team, which is great, but we didn't make the play-in or the playoffs, so a little disappointed by that. Ron Holland, he averaged 13 points per game. Wow, he shot abysmal from 3, but he averaged 13 nonetheless. We are not in the play-in, as I said, so a little disappointed by that. I think we will be firing Steve Clifford this offseason. But 28 from LaMelo Ball, 20 from Brendan Miller, 13 from Ron Holland, 12 from Mark Williams with 11 rebounds and a block. And then PJ Washington, 11, 10 from Caleb Martin, 8 from Herb Jones. So let's simulate the playoffs and let's see who goes on to win the championship. Philadelphia, Toronto, Oklahoma City, Utah. It's going to be Toronto versus OKC. Very interesting finals we got. Raptors going to win the championship. LeBron James. I don't know why he always goes to Toronto, but he does. But yeah, he won a championship. Now he can ride off in the sunset with his championship. Shout out to him. Draft lottery. Let's see. Our pick is still going to go to us because we were in the lottery, I believe anyway. And ends up being what? Ends up being number 8. So we're going to have the 8th overall pick. It is top 14 protected. I got to go get it from them. But as I said, I'm going to fire Steve Clifford this offseason. Very disappointed with the results so far. Now we can go get like Joe Mazzulla, Mark Daigneault, Jason Kidd, Jack Vaughn, Billy Donovan. There's a lot of good options here. Will Hardy. A lot of great options. So let's start with Joe Mazzulla. I don't think I have enough for him, but I'll offer anyway. And then I also like getting Will Hardy, of course, as well. Very young roster. I think you were late or one of the younger head coaches in the NBA. We're not going to get him either. We don't have a lot of money, which sucks. Okay, Underwood, Jack Vaughn. I wouldn't mind Taylor Jenkins, potentially. We are not getting him either. We are striking on every head coach possible, which is not ideal. I don't think we're getting a good one, which really, really sucks, unless if some of the real ones. We have Jacob Daly here. Hammonds, man, we really struck out. And it feels like every time you try to get consistent, you get blocked from doing it. Man, not a single good... Okay, we can get maybe... No, James Brango used to be the coach here already. I'm not doing that again. What else do we got? Anybody worth taking a chance on here. Not really seeing anybody that I like. I think we might have to just go Jacob Underwood, who's not even a real head coach, but I mean, considering I struck out on everybody, or we could go Cole Hammonds, who actually has pretty good ratings. I guess we'll go Cole Hammonds. I don't even know. Actually, Jenkins might have accepted. No, he rejected. What am I talking about? Never mind. All right, Hammonds, welcome to the team. Don't even know who you are, but you are head coach, who struck out on everybody. So you actually had a pretty good ratings, though, so I guess I'll take it. All right, sign him, and boom, now we're headed to draft night. All right, draft night. I got to go get that pick back, but I'll see you guys after that. All right, jumping into this draft. Cooper Flacco's 1. Dylan Harper. I don't even know who. Actually, I think I know who we're getting. We're getting, just kidding. Do I know? No, I don't. Okay, I'm going to take, I mean, who do I want? Nicola is still here on the board. Ian Jackson. Carter Knox. I feel like there's another guy that I don't, oh, wait a minute. I feel like there's another guy here that I always see, but I don't see his name here. Am I tripping? Is he still here? Trey Johnson, Florin. We could get a new backup 5. Bailey Fall. Let me keep looking. Maybe he's not in this draft class. Oh, I think it's this guy. No, it's not. Hugo. I mean, at this point, I don't really care who we get. It doesn't matter too much. As long as we get like a good bench player. I feel like we could use another guard, so just give me Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson, welcome to Charlotte. So we'll go another 6'6" guard, so we get even, you know, lengthier, which is great. So we'll have more length off the bench, which we love. We end up with 76 overall. Can't complain too much about that. Player options, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, Nick Smith. We'll accept all of those. Qualifying offers, James Bouknight. I probably shouldn't even offer the qualifying offer. Tatum, we don't have enough money for. That'd be awesome, though. Bouknight, Seth Curry. None of those guys really that we're worried about. Okay. What else we got? So now, Lamelo, we got Caleb Martin, Trey Johnson. I'm going to immediately move Trey Johnson to point guard. He's probably going to go down. No, he stayed the same. So Trey Johnson's going to be our backup point guard, so we'll have him play the backup point guard. Caleb Martin will be the backup 2 still, which is great. Nick Smith, probably not ready next year. Cody Martin is our backup 3 at the moment. Might look to upgrade that. Ron Holland, PJ Washington, and then Mark Williams and Nick Richards. So at this point, the only thing we really need to upgrade is maybe the small forward spot, which we could do with Hamdou Diallo, Derek Jones Jr., who's had a really good year in Dallas. So maybe we go for him. Aaron Wiggins, David Roddy. We got also like Jonathan Isaac, Najee Marshall, Slow-Mo, Covington, and then there's like Mo Wagner, Looney. Okay. I think at this point, we could probably just grab anybody. It doesn't really matter too much. We can get like a shooter in Duncan Robinson. Think I'm just going to go get Derek Jones Jr. off the bench. I guess, why not? I'll just sign him and simply call it a day. It's nothing too special, but I'm pretty confident in this team being able to make the playoffs next year. I think Ron Holland should go up. Brandon Miller should go up even more. LaMelo Ball should keep progressing. Like, this team is going to be ready to strike eventually, and we have a new head coach upgrade as well. So, yeah, Brandon Miller all the way up to an 89. Mark Williams is up. Herb Jones is up. Ron Holland's all the way up. Caleb Martin is up. And then, yeah, so everybody's progressing, which is great. Nick Smith is also up. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, stopping the deadline is always an option. So, we're always going to leave that as a possibility. But I'm feeling pretty confident that that won't even maybe be necessary. We could be a top seed in the East as soon as next year. As long as Brandon Miller takes a jump, I think he will. I think that's possible. So, let's jump into next season and let's see what this is going to look like. So, rotationally, Park is going to let us 13th. We're a 7-second system. And we'll leave it that way, I guess. 3.5, 7 seconds works. Okay. Rotationally, LaMelo Ball, Herb Jones, Brandon Miller. They do want to start PJ Washington. I'm not opposed to it if that's what they think is the best. Mark Williams, Ron Holland, Caleb Martin, Nick Richards, Derek Jones Jr. That leaves Trey Johnson out of the rotation, which, you know, we can send him down to the G League, which is fine. Or he's an asset at the deadline if possible. If we want to go ahead and make an all-in move on a power forward, which I'm not opposed to doing. So, I will see you guys at the deadline or at the end of the season, depending on how the roster is doing. At the trade deadline at 34 and 16, and we're looking to make the all-in move that we want to go ahead and make. There's a couple good options on the table. I see like Lauri Markkanen, and I see Keegan Murray as an option, but two teams I was looking at that I found very, very interesting is this. We got Cleveland, a team that I never see doing this, is selling. Evan Mobley, of course, always an option, awesome option. He would probably help us win a championship immediately if we got him. Porzingis on the Celtics, they are selling as well. Jason Tatum left their roster, and now they are very, very bad. So I'm shooting for the moon here, and I want Evan Mobley or Porzingis. Obviously, Evan Mobley fits our timeline a lot better, but I think he's going to be a lot tougher to get, but we'll see what he would cost. So Evan Mobley would be beautiful. So obviously, we're going to have to include like PJ Washington in this trade. Probably going to have to include a good asset, Ron Holland, of course, which I'm okay with. If it gets us Evan Mobley, I think this is an all-in move you have to do, right? I'll offer Derek Jones Jr. as well because we just signed him. And then you can give me like Boatwright. Okay, now obviously we're going to have to include picks, which that one's not very valuable. Our picks are not going to be valuable, which kind of sucks, but we're going to try to make it work. 2027 and then 2029, and let's pretend that's 2031. So, Washington, Ron Hall, and Derrick Jones Jr. for Evan Mobley. What do you say, Cleveland? They say no. Okay, fair enough. I will instead of give you, Trey Johnson, also somebody I'm willing to throw in here. He's not even on our rotation anyway. If this is going to get me Evan Mobley, I think we have to do it. And they agree, we get Evan Mobley. So now we have built together the perfect roster around LaMelo. We have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. Actually, that should be Herb Jones, but they want to start Nick Smith. Which I'm going to fix that in a second. But Brandon Miller, Evan Mobley, Mark Williams. Look at his rotation, bro. Tell me this team ain't about to go win a championship immediately. Like, how can this team not go win a championship? Literally. Like, I don't know how it won it. So, Mobley, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball. We make Cleveland even worse as well, which is another beautiful part about that trade we just did. So, just like that, I'm also going to shrink this down to a 9-man rotation. No need to play 10 players. And then Nick Smith Jr., I don't really want you to be a starter. I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and just, instead of me having to fix it, just put non-starter, and that should be good. So, all right, I will go ahead and get into the rest of the season. Herb Jones, Brandon Miller, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I really could not have pictured a better rotation around LaMelo, and Evan Mobley's averaging 19 and 12. So, I'll see you guys in the playoffs where hopefully we're about to go win a championship for Charlotte. LaMelo Ball still out here making All-NBA first team, which you'd love to see. 29-10 efficiency is absolutely beautiful. Evan Mobley makes an All-NBA second team, so we pretty much have a superstar duo, which is fantastic. Brandon Miller also waiting in the shadows to be part of this big three. So yeah, love to see it. Brandon Miller averages 23.5, 19, 11, 9, 8. I mean, this is absolutely a beautiful team. So I'm hoping this team can go all the way. Obviously, LeBron James and the Raptors won a championship last year, but now they have Jamal Murray and Kyrie Irving. Wow, pretty interesting team. They are the 8th seed, though. 8th seeds do scare me a lot, so it is not guaranteed we win this series, but let's see what happens. And we are going to be in a tough series with them. So, again, it is what it is. They want to start Herb Jones back, and we beat them in 6. Okay, no more sweating the Raptors, and now we get the Magic. So, the Magic, of course, all respect to them. Pretty solid team. They have Jimmy Butler now with Paulo and Wendell Carter. They don't have Franz Wagner anymore. Nikola Toppin is their 6th man. Let's just go ahead and somebody current round against Orlando, and we are going to be up 3-0, and we sweep them. Okay, take care of them, which is great. And now we get the Pacers, who are the 7th seed. Let's see what they got. They got Halliburton and Mitchell. Franz Wagner. Wow, they have a good team. Not going to lie. So this could be a tough series for us. But again, we have a good team as well. So hopefully this can go our way. Somebody current round against Indiana. All right, 3-1. And we are going to beat them in 5. We're in the Bay Finals just like that. And now get the Thunder. So of course the Thunder, all respect to them. Always a good team as well. So we're probably going to go game by game in this scenario. They don't look as intimidating as they could be. But obviously stuff like Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey, Shea, Chet. So it's still a good team nonetheless. They're up 1-0 on us. We even it up. Can we go up 2-1? Yes. 3-1, please. Yes. And we are going to smoke the Thunder and win a championship. Absolutely beautiful way to end the video. LaMelo Ball, Finals MVP. That is exactly the roster that I would want around LaMelo Ball if I'm Charlotte. Obviously, it takes 2 to tango. Is Evan Mobley ever going to become available? Probably not. Is Herb Jones going to be available? Probably not. But 2K gave me, their scenarios where they were selling. So we take advantage of that. We trade for them. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I will see you all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.